How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Talking Wolves. Hope you guys are keeping safe and well. Today we've got a bit of a bumper transfer video and two signings that are pretty close, if not done. I'm pretty sure both of them are done. One has been announced, one hasn't at the time of recording this video. But we're going to be talking about Diogo Jota, his transfer from Wolves to Liverpool, and Ki-Jana Hoever from Liverpool to Wolves. So I'm going to be giving my thoughts on both transfers. We've got a little bit of Liverpool insight as well, and how they've both come about really as well. But as always, guys, be sure to hit the like button down below, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, whether you are a Wolves fan or a Liverpool fan. If you're a Liverpool fan, give your thoughts on both signings as well. And what Wolves can expect to with Ki-Jana Hoever. So we'll start with Jota though. Big sale this for Wolves. One that has seriously surprised me. Again, news of this has come out of the blue really. You know, he was omitted from the starting lineup against Sheffield United. Didn't come on the pitch. He wasn't even in the squad for the Carabao Cup game against Stoke on Thursday. It was said that he turned up to the stadium and went straight home. And then late on Friday, Friday afternoon, it was said that Liverpool were interested. And the longer the evening went on, the more the interest seemed to ramp up. And it has more or less been finalised. Just waiting for official confirmation from Liverpool. The final fee is between 40 and 45 million pounds in full. That's ignoring obviously the structure of the deal and so on. So it will be Wolves' record sale by quite a large stretch, and a serious amount of profit made on the amount of money that Wolves paid just 3 years ago. In terms of the whole deal, it's a shame because Jota over the last 3 years has been one of my favourite players. If somebody ever asks, who's your favourite Wolves player, I don't really tend to say anyone. But when you actually think about it, the person that has given me the happiest memories over the Nuno regime, it is probably Diogo Jota. Some of his goals that he has scored has made me celebrate more than I've ever celebrated before. Most in particular, goal against Aston Villa in the league, goal against Manchester United. I don't think that moment nothing has ever topped that moment for me as a fan. The adrenaline that produced. So such a fantastic player on his day, and that's probably the key thing here for Liverpool fans. On his day, the ceiling for Diogo Jota is limitless, I'd say. I think a lot of Wolves fans wanted him and expected him to be our player of the season last year, and it just didn't happen. He probably has a good game in every 5 or so. I think that's where he needs to improve his game. If he is to become the top talent, don't want to quite say world class, but top talent that Wolves fans and a lot of fans worldwide expected him to be, I think he's just got to be that little bit more consistent. And when he's got chances at Liverpool, whether that be in the Premier League, Cups, or the Champions League, he's got to try and take those. And unfortunately, he didn't quite manage to do that at Wolves. He fell out of favour slightly. Of course, Wolves playing with wingers a lot more often these days, and Daniel Podence, Adama Traore and Pedro Neto started to get the nod ahead of Diogo. And with the signing of Fabio Silva as well, it seems like Wolves will probably focus their attention more on him and Raul Jimenez rather than Diogo Jota. So it's also said that Nuno said at the start of summer, if the right deal comes in for him, they'll sell. But Liverpool have come in, and with the way it's been structured, I think it's probably represents a good deal for both clubs, really. I think Wolves are getting 45 million for a player that, isn't quite finding his feet at Molineux at the moment. But Liverpool are paying 45 million for a player who has got some serious potential at just 23 years of age still, Diogo Jota. It'll be so interesting to see how the next couple of years go for him. At the moment, I'm assuming he's going to be a backup to the likes of Mo Salah and Sadio Mane, but he can play as a winger or as a forward. So he's been playing on the left of a wide three for Wolves, or he could play as a striker in a 2. But I think with how Liverpool set up with the roaming front three, I think Diogo Jota could possibly even play as a striker, as a lone striker for Liverpool with how he plays. On the ball, this guy is scary. He's so quick. Deceivingly quick, I'd think. If you watched him, you'd probably think, oh, he's not that quick. But when he gets the ball and drives with it, he's so quick and so difficult to stop. He's so aggressive on the ball as well. And honestly, he'll win your fouls. Defenders just bounce off him. It's so hard to win the ball off him. And I think sometimes, especially in moments of last season, it's just like he didn't quite make the right decision. I'm not going to say his end product is bad, because some of the finishes and some of the passes that he's played have been phenomenal, but sometimes it's just that right decision at the end. Maybe he takes a touch too many before he releases the ball or holds on to it a bit more. And that's just the small things that Diogo's got to improve on. So as I say, I think for both clubs it represents good value and a good deal. Diogo's getting a fresh start, but I think at Liverpool, arguably the best team or one of the best teams in the world at the moment, this is a huge opportunity for him. And as a Wolves fan, I do wish him all the best, because he's, as I say, he's given me some seriously good memories over the last couple of years or so. And, you know, he took a step down when he joined Wolves. You know, Wolves had just appointed Nuno in the Championship, having a fairly below average season under Paul Lambert. Nuno has come in, and Wolves obviously spent a lot of money. Diogo had just come off the back of a season with, you know, at Porto and Atletico Madrid. You know, he's at two massive clubs there. So to come to the Championship like he did, smashing in the goals like he did, and he's been, you know, a very, very pleasant player to have in a Wolves shirt over the last couple of years or so. In terms of how the deal is structured, though, as I say, it is up to 45 million, but Liverpool are only going to be playing 4.5 million in the first year of the deal. Now, this may sound surprising to a lot of people, thinking, why aren't we getting all the money up front? Now, if Liverpool wanted to offer all the money up front, this deal would have been significantly less. We probably would have only got 30 to 35 million pounds for him. But the fact that Wolves are willing to structure deals like this to help out Liverpool shows for me, one, money isn't a major issue at Wolves at the moment. I don't think they would have sold for and structured the deal like that if they weren't comfortable with money at the moment. And two, it keeps good relations between the two clubs. You never know, in the future Liverpool might want to look at one or two more Wolves players, and Wolves might want to look at one or two Liverpool players. And to have decent relations with a club like that and with the calibre of play they've got, I think that's always good. But a lot of deals are structured like this. I'd never be alarmed like that. Wolves to Helder Costa was the exact same thing. I think that was spread over 5 years, and when looking at the accounts over the last number of years, there have been a big number of transfers that Wolves do that staggered payments, and it happens a lot in football. It's just not a one-off thing, and obviously with this being a pretty big transfer, obviously Wolves' record sale, the most I believe Liverpool have paid for an attacker as well. These things are going to get documented and reported a lot more on, but apparently Wolves' willingness to help structure a deal was a massive factor in this. But as I say, only broke yesterday, which is Friday afternoon, and looks set to go through already. The fact that Wolves, Fosun are doing these deals so quietly, so quickly, and so efficiently is crazy. And that moves us on to the next one as well. Hoever from Liverpool, the young defender who could play as a centre-back or a right wing back. It's going to be so interesting to see how he gets on at Molineux as well. That move has been submitted, get my word out, confirmed this afternoon. Nuno did say in his press conference for the Manchester City game that Hoever's done and the Diogo Jota move is done. So Hoever, as far as I'm aware, is obviously confirmed now, and it looks like he's going to come in, and I think he will be in and around the first team as well. He could play as a centre-back or as a right-back / right wing-back in Wolves' case as well. And I think that's where we're going to see him there. Unfortunately, he's not eligible for the game against Manchester City, so we're going to have to wait a little bit longer to see him in a Wolves shirt. But I am looking forward to seeing how he gets on, because a lot of Liverpool fans seem to be upset about this deal, just in terms of how good the player could be, the potential on the player as well. I think this one is going up to about £13 million. For a young player, Liverpool get about 15% of the sell-on fee as well, which obviously means that Liverpool hold him in quite high regard as well. I do remember when he made his debut, I think he was 16, playing against Wolves in the FA Cup a couple of years ago, and I saw one or two clips doing the rounds on social media yesterday of him just picking the ball up from deep and driving it forward. To have that confidence at 16 years of age and create a big opportunity like he did, you know, just shows the type of player we're getting. I know it's only a small glimpse, but over the years he's going to have matured, he's going to have got better as a player, and I think Liverpool fans know this guy could be very, very good. However, I've got some thoughts of Chris from the Red Men TV now on Hoever and what we can expect from the youngster.
Hello everybody, I'm Chris Pajak from the Red Men TV, and I've been asked by Dave to give a few thoughts ahead of a potential transfer for Ki-Jana Hoever. So I suppose the first thing is, what position does he play? And you know, as a Liverpool fan, watching Ki-Jana Hoever, I mean, I first saw him play actually against Wolves in the cup. Obviously when I think it was Lovren got injured and he come on with about 3 minutes to play. Now, that was a strange introduction. Obviously, I've seen him play for the unders and stuff like that since, but he's either a centre-back or a right-back. And what I love about Ki-Jana Hoever, he's a player that I think has got a huge ceiling in football, first of all. A player that I didn't really want Liverpool to get rid of, and a player that I didn't think we would get rid of. I did think he would be very much in the manager's thought for the future. 18 years old, as I say, he's got a really high ceiling. I think he can go really, really far in the game, and he's an exciting talent. Now, is he a centre-back? Is he a right-back? And one thing that he said early on in his career, even earlier on in his career, I should say, is that, he relishes the challenge. So when he was asked, whether he's a right-back or a centre-back, this is about a year ago now, he'd say, look, I just want to learn. So if they've got a really good winger, I'd like to go and play at right back and test myself and make sure that I improve. Or if they've got a great striker, I'd like to play at centre half. I don't want to play at centre half when we don't think I'm going to get a challenge. So he wanted to play against the toughest opposition he could do so that he could get better. And I thought that was brilliant. And you don't hear young people say things like that very often. So I really sort of remember that. And then when you see him play, I think he's dead Dutch. He doesn't really give the ball away. His passing's really good. When he plays right back, I think he's got a really great ball. A great cross, and he's not afraid for someone who plays centre half to push forwards and play a bit more like someone like a Trent Alexander-Arnold or an attacking fullback in that vein. Now, one of the things that he does, and I think's really good with his crossing, is he doesn't hit it into an area. He's not one of those types of guys. He's I will put it somewhere that he can head the ball, or I will try and put it onto his head kind of guy. And we've seen him score headers as well, equally from the fullback position. We've seen him get forward himself, arrive at that back stick and really dink one in. I think he's good enough for the Premier League. Now, whether he's good enough right now, I'm not sure and I'm not certain. Now, if Liverpool thought that he was going to be a better right back, then we've got Trent Alexander-Arnold and Nico Williams ahead of him, probably. And that's maybe why we're considering him letting go. If they thought he was a centre half, I'm really surprised because we've got a young lad called Seth Vandenberg who we signed a little time after Ki-Jana Hoever. Hasn't really set the world alight, to be honest with you, even in the unders. We've also got Billy Cometio, who's maybe moved ahead of Ki-Jana Hoever. I just wonder whether he's actually tall enough, is Ki-Jana, to be a centre-half in the Premier League, and that's why I'm probably leaning more towards right-back with the guys that we've got ahead of him. Natural right-backs, maybe he's not going to figure in Liverpool's plans, as it were. Is he good enough for Premier League football? Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as I say, a really high ceiling, and one that, Liverpool fans are a little bit surprised that we're sort of talking about him going to Wolves, to be honest with you, because we thought that he was going to be a proper talent, a proper player. The 10 million fee, as it stands, I think you guys are probably going to want to know this. Are we ripping you off, or are you getting a good deal? Is probably where I'd be sat and thinking about. At the moment, I think Liverpool have got a slightly better deal out of this. Actually, slightly a better deal out of this, because 10 million quid for an 18-year-old seems mad to me. An 18-year-old with less than 5 Premier League appearances. So that seems a little bit high. But as I say, if he works out, then you've got a 20, 30, 40 million pound right back or centre half, because I think that's the level of player that he can go on and become. Now, a lot of things have to happen for him to become that player, but he's got the right attitude, he's got the skill set, and he's had good coaching early on in his career, and to continue that, he will get well coached at Wolves, because that's something that we know that your manager and your club are right now. And they look like a really good football club. They look like they're here to stay. They're certainly an exciting side to watch. So I would back him to go on and have a good career at Wolves. Hopefully he does. He's a player that I like, as I say. Thank you for the opportunity to come and talk about him as well. Really nice to be asked by Dave. I'm sure they'll say it for you, but I don't know what they're going to do with this. But like the video, subscribe to Talking Wolves. It's boss. They're getting people on like me who talk a little bit about Liverpool Football Club. And don't forget to check out Dave talking about Jota over on our channel as well. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Ta-ra.
Big thanks to Chris for that one. Of course, all the links for the Red Men are in the description down below. It's also said that Hoever rejected some moves from, I think, Atletico Madrid and possibly even Bayern Munich, off the top of my head, were two of the sides that wanted to contact Hoover about a potential move, and that was obviously, he said no and he wants to stay in the Premier League, and he's come to Wolverhampton Wanderers. He's very highly rated. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he gets on. The fourth signing this season for Wolves this summer, and Nuno has made no secret that Wolves want to bring more in and sign more. There is definitely money there to be spent. Who it's going to be on is going to be interesting. It's been said that it looks like a direct replacement for Diogo Jota is possibly not necessary this window. It sort of makes me think about Pepe, the Brazilian winger that we've been looking at. It's said that they possibly won't sell until January, February. So Wolves could be holding out for that. I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see who else is brought in. I think another right wing back is needed, and possibly another defender. But this signing is very good for Wolves. And again, shows Wolves, they want to invest in these young and very high profile, high potential players. And I think in the next year or so, with the way Nuno's building this team, it's going to be really exciting times to be a Wolves fan. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, guys, on both signings. Diogo Jota, if you're a Wolves fan, are you worried? Are you scared? Are you disappointed? Or do you think it's a fair enough move? Liverpool fans, what do you think about the prospect of signing Diogo Jota? And obviously, on Ki-Jana Hoever, Wolves fans, what do you think of this young talent in Liverpool? How much of a player and how good of a player are you letting go to Wolves there? Until next time, though, guys, be sure to hit the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Be sure to check us out, obviously, with match day content, previews, reviews, reactions, and obviously all the transfer news when it hits Molineux. Until next time, though, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you all very soon.